Morning. So my plan was over Christmas to finish me brickwork and then get tiling, so getting roof tiling. So I've had all the tiles delivered and they're all on the ground. Anyway, my son, I spoke to James and he says, how are you doing? And I says, oh, I'm going to be lifting all my tiles up. I went, please don't. I said, James, I need to get them up. Don't. I want to do it with you. So, if forgoed his Christmas thing, do, or a lot of his Christmas do, and he's coming and he's going to help me lift up the all the tiles. I'm not used to having all this help, you know what I mean? I'm so used to doing things on my own, but it's so much easier, and it makes, you know, I just think it's really, really good, and thank you very much. So let's wait for him to get up here. While we're stacking them on these boards is I'm just conscious of the tiles in the pallets. I've got 16 tiles left over, so I've got the 2 pallets, and when you split the pallets, if they cockle and they come off and break, I'm trying to minimise that. So James is passing me we're opening one band, James is passing me the tiles, and then we're stacking them on the boards and then up, so we're not leaving any unsecured tiles at any point in the pallets. So we just undo one band, got my ridges there, we'll lug them up in a little bit. Right, best crack on because James is cracking the whip. He's trying to.
New year, can we move them bricks on that driveway? Every time I've drove past it for the last God knows how many years. No. Morning. Morning. Do you want a pair of gloves? Morning.
Yeah, I don't want you going hungry.
Oh,
Get it while it's hot, won't you, both of you?
Thank you. Oh, thank you very much.
Me and James are just lugging tiles up onto the roof. Neighbour's just come past, little bag, called us down and says, get these while they're warm. Oh, sausage and egg sandwiches. Merry Christmas. Say thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good man. Let's have a look, see what we got. Look at these.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Well, we've just got all the tiles up. James has done most of the lugging.
Christmas at White Rose. Create memories in the grotto with your
Tiles down there, look.
Check out the latest festive flicks at City.
Tiles. Tile battens. Fillers, look, trays. And my Sofitex, not Sofitex, it's like a Special Lux. It's all in there. Tiles. These are all my finishing tiles because I have a double roll on them. Bridges. Tiles. So I've got that bit to finish there. 3 course of bricks to go down there. And 3 course of bricks to go down the front. And we're gonna get tiling. Been a good hand today and he's worked hard. Morning. Started late this morning because I went into Scarborough for 6 o'clock because Marks and Spencer's was open. All my cupboards were absolutely bare. So I was in Scarborough for 6, did my shopping, come back, my son's been round, my friend's been round, and it's like about 11:15 now, so it's a bit late for me to get my mixer out. So I thought I'd show you how to do this tumbling in brickwork, how I set that out, and a few more bits of setting out, just to make a bit of a video really, just to give me something to do. So this is me tumbling in, and it's a series of triangles up the gable of the roof, and they were done in traditional times to aid weatherproofing. The idea was that all the water coming down the joints and everything, and I wanted to do something on the gables just to make it a bit interesting. When I built that one there, I had 2 packs of blue bricks out of a manhole chamber, and I thought, what can I do with them? So I did that, and the full gable is built out of half bricks. I set the first 3 course out, and once I set the first 3 course out, I knew where every brick were going. James was about 7, I think, when we did that, and he took a few days off school and he knocked all the bricks into halves. So I just wanted to do something on here, and when the planners came out, they says to me, "You're not going to be doing anything like that, are you?" And I thought, well, I said no, but I thought I'll do something traditional because I'm trying to make this look a bit I'll keep it rural, this little project, hence why I've done this tumbling in. So what you need is a setting out point at the bottom. So I've got 3 course of bricks to go on here. I was originally going to put 2 on, but I'm going to put 3 on because it just aids my bottom tile. That was my setting out point. And then at the top you need a finishing point. So that is my finishing point there, and what that is, it's the peak of the roof, and these string lines are the top of the rafters. That's what they relate to, and that string line is plumb above this brickwork. So this brickwork, as long as it meets this string line, is going to be plumb straight up and down. So you've got your setting out point there, your start point, you've got your finishing point there, and then what you do, you measure between those 2 points and you divide it by 75 millimeters, and what the 75 millimeters is 65 millimeters for the brick and 10 millimeters for the joint, so that is your gauge. And it worked out that I had 51 bricks up there. So if you want to build evenly sized triangles, you divide the 51 evenly, and the closest I could get was either 5 triangles of 10 bricks, or which would give me 50, or 7 triangles of 7 bricks and 7 sevens of 49, which is what I did. So I started 1 brick higher, and at the top I'm putting in an 8th brick rather than having 7. There'll be 8 bricks in the top triangle, but because it's only a tiny piece at the top, you won't notice it. I could have done 5 10 brick triangles, but what I was worried about was when I got to the top, if there were 10 brick triangles, these 2 triangles here might have ended up touching, so I end up with 1 huge triangle at the top, which I didn't want. And I just thought the 7 bricks, the 7 triangles of 7 bricks would look well. So that's how I chose that, if I explain that very well, but I think you might get the gist. So then you need to start off the same at both sides. So this side needs to marry that side, because if you don't, when you get to your peak, your bricks don't work right, if you follow that too. So I had some comments about my rafter feet, why they finish where they do. So the finishing here on the end of this wall plate, they don't come right to the front of my wall, and that's because I'm not having fascias or soffits. If I was having fascias or soffits, these would extend out here, be cut off, might be a small return underneath where your soffit goes, and I'd have a fascia board up here which all my gutters would screw to. But I'm not doing that, I'm keeping this traditional, so it'll be brickwork, and then my gutters going on gutter spikes into the brickwork. So I just thought I'd show you what happens at the bottom of my wall. So I've got 3 course of bricks to wall to that height, plus the joints. Then it gives me the correct angle for my roof tiles, because if you had a fascia board, you need to lift up your bottom tile the thickness of a tile, because if you don't, this one would drop too steeply. So if you had a fascia board, you could get it with your fascia board or a lat behind, but mine will be sat on 3 course of bricks like that. So once I've walled my 3 course of bricks, I'll extend these rafter feet with some 2x1 fastened on the side of my rafters like that, so they will go on the bottom of every rafter, but I will not let them touch the brick so that no damp goes, well, can pass. So imagine me that piece of 2x1 is there. Then these trays will go on. These will stick these will stick over to drip into my gutter, and they will be up like that, fastened to the rafter. and then when my roofing felt goes on, it doesn't sag and trap water. It sits on this liner tray and just falls properly and correctly into the gutter. I'm not good with my words, and I know what I'm trying to say, and I try and explain it simply, but when I'm talking and I think to myself, that's not coming across very well. But again, I just hope it gives the gist of what I'm doing. So this is my 2x1, my tile batten, and I've marked these in 400 lengths. So now I'll just get my saw and cut them to length. So when you're building your gable up, this is the line of the rafter. Ideally it wants to be maybe 10mm below the rafter, because you've got another detail to wall on here, which I'll show you in a minute. So I've got some of these to trim down, which I've done on the other side. I'll show you in a minute. And because I cut all these with a hammer and a bolster, I didn't fancy being up here with a grinder and all the dust and crap and everything else. I would have done if it had been engineering bricks or a brick with a proper sharp arris, but the bricks what I've used are all different sizes. So if one brick's a millimetre out or a couple of millimetres out, I can hide it and you don't notice it. But if it had been something like an engineering brick, which had proper sharp arises and every brick is the same size, then I'd have made myself a little jig and I would have cut every brick on a grinder, because you need that level of, I've got to say spot onness, but that's not the right word. You need that level of, I can't think of the word, have it been right? So I just hold a brick to my line, hold my head down level, mark a pencil mark of where I want to cut it, then I put on a sliding bevel, which I'll show later on, make a pencil mark and cut it. But I can only hit the brick once with my bolster. I can trim it up a bit with a brick hammer, because they've all been cut with a hammer and bolster and a brick hammer. But if you hit it again, they shatter. So I find it easier if I'm a few millimetres above the line. I've got a special grinding disc, I just grind it down. The bricks are really soft, so it's dead easy to do. Everybody will have their own way, but I've just found that the easiest way for me on here with these bricks. Then when I come to somewhere like this with two bricks, I hold my brick up on that, I hold my top half on, put a pencil mark where the joint is, I then just hold the next brick on and sight it through to get that point, and then make a pencil mark with my sliding bevel and cut it. You've got to use your tape measure all the time to keep an eye on your gauge, to make sure that these aren't opening up, they're not getting too wide or too narrow, because you don't want to get to the top and end up with loads of really narrow joints or really loads of thick ones. You've just got to keep an eye on it. And because these bricks are different thicknesses, you just keep a bit of a close eye, but it's all alright and all doable. Let me just show you at the other side where I've ground them bricks down. Oh, let me take some and I'll show you why. Everything's always setting out. You can't just do anything and go get on with it. You can, but it doesn't make a proper job, does it? So those are the bricks what I've ground down there, and they're all 10mm below the rafter. So why you do that is, once it's felted, you set your tile battens up the roof, and your tile battens are what these lugs set on. So you work out the gauge, so that's for going up, but then you also need to work out the gauge for horizontal, because it's not just a case of put a tile on, put another one on, put another one on, put another one on. You set out your gauge, then you mark it at the bottom, you mark it at the top of the roof, and then you put string lines down. And I always put the string lines down every 3 tiles across. Then you tile up vertically, and providing that you keep your tile in line with that string line, you end up with rows of tiles all straight. But you need to know where to start and where to finish. So you work out your gauge, which I'll show later, and let's say it needs to overhang each side by 2.5 inches. You wall that on your bricks, let it overhang here 2.5 inches, and then you can put your sand and cement on here to all point up. So that's the idea of that. I know how to do it in my head, but trying to explain it is a totally different bloody kettle of fish. I've been sat up here chuckling to myself while I'm on the roof. I know I don't explain things very clearly, but when I'm doing it, I'll film it again and it'll become clearer, I hope. I'll stick half a brick there. Just keeps me setting off right with my next brick. beautiful rock. Set that through where my joint wants to be. And I'll mark that with my sliding bevel like that. There we are, and just give the back a tidy up with a brick hammer. Always make sure you clean the back off. blind man on a galloping horse. I'd be pleased to see that. Go build up my other corner now and I'll film the triangle. Sat on there, sat on there. That's not too bad, I suppose. Blind man on a galloping horse and all that lot. Not in any rush, I'm just enjoying myself. Nice and steady away. Not in a race with anybody, I'm not on price. Some bricks are longer than others. I just need a bit longer brick. Like that one. and over to clean your backs off. So that's what you're up against sometimes. Banana bricks. Well, I've got to go in now. That's also what you're up against. Bricks longer than the other. So if you get 3 of these in succession, or 3 small ones in, you lose all your bond, but they've got to go in. You can't just put small ones in and big ones, you've just got to mix them all in. It is how it is. Right, I'm going to point them up and then mix some more stuff. I keep chuckling to myself as I keep going to get some more mortar and that lot. It's Christmas Eve today. I'm in a t-shirt and I'm not cold, and everybody's walking up and down the street. They've got big coats on, hats, gloves. I think it's one of the benefits of being a little bit meaty, having a bit of skin on my bones. Morning, yes thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I've just been told I can take the day off tomorrow if I want. But my plan is to come out and continue with this if the weather's alright. It'd be nice just to get it done. Otherwise I'm just sat watching telly, aren't I? So yeah, right, gotta crack on while I'm warm and toasty. I had a little yoo-hoo, like a little bird tweeting. Lady over the road to make me a cup of coffee, and she gave me a mince pie, what she's made, and a coconut bun. Oh, I'm ready for this today. Morning, Christmas Day morning. Merry Christmas. It's a lovely morning out. So I'm just going to get my tools out and get this gable finished today. Fingers crossed. It's forecast quite a bit of bad weather, well, rain later on. So I've been out half an hour just trying to wet myself up, just pottering in the shed. So I'm gonna get a mix on, finish my cup of tea and get her done. Just thought I heard a fella shouting hello. Lady over the road has just shouted me across if I want to go in for a bacon sandwich. Guess what my answer was? We use this little boat level just to make sure I'm keeping at the right angle. Motor's going off fast today. The past couple of weeks I've had problems, especially down below. What was walling at 8 o'clock was still wet through at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Now it's totally the opposite. As I get to my wall ties, look, these are normally horizontal like that, so I'll twist them just to get it into my joint. Well, the skies have turned black. And it keeps spitting me rain, so I've used up my bit of mortar what I had. I was going to mix some more. But I've covered up, cleaned down. I just that piece going up there. But I've got 3 course of bricks to go down the front and the back, so I'm going to get cleaned up for today. Carry some bricks up which are down there, and I'll get ready for tomorrow, and I'll finish this gable tomorrow and put me bricks. So probably not film that, I'll call this it. So I hope you've enjoyed this latest update and you've all had a good Christmas day today, and been good for me. It's I got a Yoo-hoo. Oh yeah, told you that earlier on. I got a oh, what did I have? Bacon sausage sandwich and a cup of tea, which were very nice. And then I saw my mate the other day, and it's Christmas Day today, and I'd planned on doing this, so I just picked myself up a couple of pork pies from the butcher's, and my plan was come out here and I'd just have a couple of pork pies for my tea. Anyway, I got a text last night, we'll bring you up a Christmas dinner late afternoon. So thank you very much. So some kind people out there, so that were really nice. Nice surprise. So right, I'll catch you all at the next update, which will probably be me starting to tile the roof in, and thank you very much for watching.